Welcome back to Virtual Reality Game Dev Ed. This is the third tutorial video for using MakeHuman in Blender. Okay, now this one is about using the nightly version of MakeHuman with Blender 2.62. Okay, that's the latest version of Blender. If you want to get the latest version of Blender, go to vrealitygames.com, jump to our VR Game Dev Ed page, and you can click right here on the Blender image. Now, I already have it installed and whatnot, but the reason I came to this site, I actually wanted to show you all a little something here. You know what I think I might have, where I might find it? Okay, well, first thing we're going to do right here, glance up here, you see source code. They will happily give out source code for the program, and that lets me point out Blender is also an open source technology. This is actually pretty much, there we go. Blender is a free open source 3D content creation suite. Open source is a very important term. That means that we can literally edit and change the files in it, the code even, the script, the programming itself, legally. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video here. When you open Blender, if you try to, if you open Blender 2.62, let me go ahead and open it up and actually change it so it opens my splash screen real quick. Let me show you something else. Okay, Control U, save my user preferences, close it, and let me open it back up. Doesn't show us this in this one. It probably will. I think it did in 2.57. Let me turn my splash screen on. Control U, enter, close, open it again. Well, there it mentions it. Okay. I was looking to hopefully find this logo that talked about how Blender is Python powered. Now, Python is a specific programming language. I happen to think it's still a little messy yet, but it's really, really powerful. It allows you to, even Unity 3D's powered with Python, I believe, which is the game engine we use. It allows us to have this entirely incredible, absolutely incredible program here. It's capable of unreasonably realistic 3D rendering. Animations, literally, I could take this cube here and create an entire human being if I'd like. To make a human being, you'd probably want to start off with a UV sphere, but still, you can do it with a cube if you'd like. So let me show you some of the things here. Under add-ons, the first thing we will see is official and community. These are the only official add-ons made by Blender themselves, the Blender company. All of the rest of this stuff is actually programmed and designed by other people, and they've given it to Blender. And that's what open source means. Anyone in the world can make our own add-ons and programming for Blender and integrate it right in for it. So now what we're talking about, what we're doing here, is we're importing our MHX object, which is a file extension that the programmer for MakeHuman created just for Blender. Now, the one thing about this, both of these programs are updating extremely rapidly. If you're going through our MakeHuman series, you see that MakeHuman actually has a nightly release. He's updating so rapidly, he releases all of his changes that he makes every single day. While, for instance, this is Blender 2.62. The other version I have on this computer is Blender 2.57, which was the latest version I was able to find that worked with the stable release of MakeHuman. Between those five, there's obviously 5 different stable releases there: 2.58, 2.59, 2.60, 2.61, and then now finally 2.62. However, there's been almost 20 updates of Blender since. Blender will release an alpha, a beta A, a beta B, and then their final stable release for almost every single version they have. So that means we've updated almost 20 times since 2.57. Now originally, the MakeHuman programmer had to actually had to update and make a new version of the MHX file extension for every time Blender was updated. And we had a huge problem with that. With compatibility, he was trying to keep up with Blender, and Blender's actually was moving more quickly than even he was. So they finally went back in this 2.62. They gave the guy a break. Rather than having to create a new version of his file extension, now all he has to do is just write a new import script. And we actually then manually import this. Now I already changed it, so it's not going to show me the error message that I want to show you guys. However, if I were to import a MakeHuman if I exported my MakeHuman from the nightly version, then we're going to see this new version of the MHX file. These two versions came out of the stable release. We see 2.4 and 2.5. This tells you which version of Blender you want to use them in, if you have Blender 2.4 or Blender 2.5. This one specifically works with Blender 2.57. However, if you export your MHX file from the nightly version of MakeHuman, this is actually what you're going to see. And this is ready and prepared for 2.5 or 2.62, but it's actually still a little bit updated. This is an MHX version 1.2, and what we saw in the add-ons was MHX 1.1, right? So if we open up our user preferences again, under add-ons, come under MakeHuman, you're going to see this has version 1.1. So it's still not right. It's actually, he went back for us. So we have to actually do something here. We have to move this around. This little error message you will get if you try to import a MakeHuman out of your nightly will tell you a specific file location for where to find the import script. And this is why I mentioned Python. I'm going to show you guys where to find that import script and how to put it in Blender so we can use it. Okay. First of all, we want to come under your program files, under MakeHuman, okay, we want in our new MakeHuman Nightly, we're going to see this importers file. Now that's where Blender tells you to go. However, as you can see, the file we're looking for isn't there. The only thing in this folder now is this little README. So let's go ahead and click this README and see what it tells us to do. It says the contents of this file have been moved to Tools. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and I love good programmers. Let's go ahead and click on the Tools file, and we will see Blender 2.6, Blender 2.6x right there. Okay. Now the file we need is the MHX importer. Okay. And here we have it. Now this has a funny name, but this also an interesting file extension. This py file extension means a Python script. This is literally a piece of programming. The script is a piece of programming. So what we want to do is actually copy this first of all, and we want to put it where it's supposed to go in Blender. Okay. So to get there, go ahead and open up your program files again and go into the Blender Foundation. I saved a different version of the Blender file for Blender 2.57 so I can run both versions here on this computer as well. But we want our latest version here. Now we're going to see this file for 2.62. Okay, and we're going to come under Python, under Library, I believe maybe it's here. Should see a file. We're looking for a file called add-ons. Okay, let's go to scripts. Add-ons, right there. Now we see all of these different Python scripts. Now if you look really closely, you're going to see that same file name that we just saved. And that's exactly what we want. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and paste this right over that. If you'd like to keep this, go ahead and copy your original version and put it in a new folder somewhere. We're going to go ahead and paste this right into that folder. I'm just going to copy and replace it because I've already done this. It's actually the same file. So I'm going to copy and replace that script right there. And now we should be able to import our MakeHuman into Blender without getting that error message. So I'm pretty much out of time for this video. I will pick right back up in Blender 2.62 and we will import our MakeHuman that we exported out of our latest MakeHuman Nightly, and we will see what happens. I will see you all soon.